There once was a field mouse who began a journey on this very trail. Before long, he met Hare, who asked, "Where are you going, adventurous one?" "I'm looking for Traveling Dune," exclaimed Field Mouse. "Who's that?" said Hare. "Traveling Dune is a great adventurer," said Field Mouse. "He's a sand dune that gets the itch to travel wherever the wind blows. Sometimes he doesn't even stop long enough to pack his bags. I'm going to find him and hear his stories. I want to be a traveler just like Traveling Dune." "It sounds like a great adventure," said Hare. "I'd come with you, but there are so many tasty stems and twigs and leaves around here. I'll just stay and nibble. Besides, if we hares didn't eat some of the plants, this place would be so overgrown nobody could pass through. But remember this during your journey. Things change. Good luck. I hope you find Traveling Dune." Hare went back to work, and Field Mouse skipped down the trail. "Caw! Watch your step! No littering, caw!" squawked a large blackbird. Field Mouse was startled. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm Cleanup Crow. It's my job to tell you about trail manners. Here are a few for you to remember. First, everything that belongs here must stay here. Enjoy the plants and animals, shells and stones, but leave them where you find them. Second, you must take away everything you brought with you, even gum wrappers. And third, you can help care for our home by staying on the trail." Cleanup Crow paused. "Now tell me about yourself." "My name is Field Mouse, and I'm looking for a Traveling Dune." "Yes, I've heard about Traveling Dune," said Cleanup Crow. "Years ago, his coat of plants was worn threadbare from the feet of people wandering off trail. The wind blew the loose sand from beneath his coat right across the highway. That dune was really traveling. And that was before all these trees and plants grew up around here. I don't know if he's still around. Things change." And Cleanup Crow turned her back and flew away. Cheery voices called among the pines. "Hello, hello, hi, hi, chickadee, chickadee, chickadee." 5 tiny birds flittered among the branches. "Hello," Field Mouse paused back. "Who are you?" "We're black-capped chickadees," they replied. "We don't have long to chat because we have an important job. We eat insects from the bark and branches of these shore pines." "Why is it so important?" asked the Field Mouse. "If there are too many insects, the pine trees will get sick. The pines are busy creating a forest here, on top of the sand where it used to create an open sky, where it used to be open to the sky. The pine shed millions of needles. The needles rot and make soil where other trees and forest plants can grow. In the old days, different plants grew here. The kind like that grow in the sand. But someday, this may be a forest with really big trees. If it keeps doing our job, things change. Bye-bye." Field Mouse trudged on. "Well, other things might change, but surely Traveling Dune hasn't." I don't know what voice Field Mouse has. Maybe it should be my own. Field Mouse rested. "It's been such a long journey," he thought. "I met a crow who told me about trail manners and animals who told me about their work here. I've seen pine trees growing where it used to be a little shifting sand, and heard the story of how dunes begin. But where, oh where is Traveling Dune?" He nibbled on a pine nut. "You can thank me for that," giggled the chipmunk. "What do you mean?" asked Field Mouse. "I eat nuts and berries," said Chipmunk. "I store them in hiding places, but sometimes I forget where they are. Then they sprout and new berry bushes or trees grow. The new plants are food for the creatures of the forest like you. I might be forgetful, but I help things change." Field Mouse bowed. "Thank you, Chipmunk," he said, trying to sound majestic. "Your work has fed me on my quest." "It was nothing," he squeaked. And as Field Mouse continued on the trail, he heard her mutter, "Now where did I hide those spruce seeds?" The forest grew darker and the soil damper. From a clump of plants with long, skinny leaves came strange noises. Ribbit, gurg, burb. That doesn't sound like good trail manners, said Field Mouse, peering about for the noisemaker. Mind your business, said a tree frog. What are you doing here? I'm looking for Traveling Dune. Have you seen him? Replied Field Mouse. My great-uncle knew Traveling Dune, said the frog. In the old days, you could see Traveling Dune from right here. This was a wide-open space back then, with beach grass and a rainy season pond. But that was before all these shore pines grew. Things change. Why don't you hang around with me instead of looking for Traveling Dune? You'll never go hungry. There's still a pond in the rainy season with lots of tasty insects, and sometimes I hop through the forest hunting for bugs. No thanks, I want to travel, Field Mouse declared, and Traveling Dune can tell me how. And he left Frog behind. Ribbit. I wonder when we're going to read about Mr. Mosquito, because he's the animal that I am finding the most. Our Field Mouse journey continues on. Hey, are you the guy that's looking for Traveling Dune? Whined Mosquito. Yes. How did you know? Answered Field Mouse. Word travels fast around here. But you can stop now. Your search is over. Bzz. What do you mean? Said Field Mouse suspiciously. Bzz. You found him. You found Traveling Dune, droned Mosquito. Field Mouse looked around, puzzled. I don't see him. You're right beside him, see? He's the hill just up this trail, hummed Mosquito. Traveling Dune has settled down. He spends his days resting under this coat of dune grass and bushes and trees. He hasn't traveled anywhere in more than 20 years. Like everyone's been telling you, things change. No! Traveling Dune can't be settled down, shouted Field Mouse. He ran to the top of the hill, while Mosquito's whine faded into the distance. Suddenly, the forest ended. Field Mouse saw a sand dune whiskered with beach grass. Could this be Traveling Dune? Ahoy there, matey, squawked a gull. You look like a traveling man. Well, that's what I'd like to be, said Field Mouse. But I need to learn how. I want to learn from the best, and the best is Traveling Dune. Is this he? No, replied Gull. This is a young fore-dune. It grew around plants that grow only in sand. You see, when the wind blows, sand gets mound higher and higher around the plants, and the plants keep reaching higher too. Before you know it, there's the fore dune. You know, going on a long time ago, traveling dune was a fore dune too, right next to the beach. Then as the waves brought more and more sand to the beach grew further toward the ocean and traveling dune far behind. Later, this new fore dune was formed. If traveling dune is still around, you have to look further away from the beach. It seems like I'll never find traveling dune, said Field Mouse. Well, things do change, said Gull kindly, and off he flew, while Field Mouse trudged along the dune top and back into the forest. I don't know if I'll ever find traveling dune. What started as a journey for a field mouse has become a journey for me. Thank you for coming on our journey. Field mouse represents all of us. What we find in life, really. Because we all have our own traveling dune. And well, it's always changing. One day we think we know what we want. But then the next day, well, looks like our dune has changed. But we'll keep marching on just like field mice. Even if we get bit by 20 mosquitoes. Here we go. I think we found traveling dune. These days, my traveling dune seems to be wherever my soul is filled by nature. And this weekend it finds me looking west out into the Pacific Ocean. I hope you find your traveling dune.